teams in the country like now they're ranked.
Yeah, but with the talent on that roster, you just never know when they could take off.
Listen, their top 3 in the lineup are as good as anybody, right? Their 4th best hitter has 8 homers, but they have their top 3 guys are all hitting 330 plus. Like one guy's hitting 370, one guy's hitting 360, one guy's hitting 330. The guy who's hitting 330 is Enrique Bradford, is their center fielder. He is projected to be a first-round pick. He's 41 of 41 in stolen bases. I do not like that because we have shown that we aren't very good at controlling the running game by throwing guys out. We're not throwing a lot of guys out.
It doesn't matter how
right.
you roll them out.
Right. And we're talking about slowing the game down, or not slowing the game down, speeding the game up. When you have a guy that can run and you're not going to have a guy that's going to throw him out, how do you slow the running game down? You hold and you hold and you hold and you hold.
Or you just keep him off base.
Let's just not let him get any hits. No hits. Let's just give him no hits. Because if not, they're on base and he's going to be trying to run, and we don't run. They run a lot, obviously. 41 for 41, that's impressive. He hasn't been thrown out one time.
That's impressive.
I mean, have you seen him? Have you seen him play?
He's good.
When he gets on first, he's going to second. Like it's like the pitcher's just like, fuck, bro. Like, all right, whatever. Just get out of here, Enrique.
He can move. It's going to be, look, Vandy's a tough place to play. Nashville's fun. It's a fun city to be in, but it's a hard place to go out there and win. These guys are good. They understand how to win. Vandy's probably been
They've built a program there.
Yeah, they've probably been the face of college baseball for the last 5 years, I would assume, right? Mm-hmm. They've won a couple national championships. They are putting guys in the big leagues left and right. They have a ton of, especially recently, a ton of superstar big league players. And they've put themselves in a position to be kind of the class of college baseball. Now, LSU is still LSU. Like I said, we've talked about a lot this year. They've been very inconsistent. But if they want to host and if they want to be where they want to be at the end of the year, you've got to win the series. Yeah. You've got to. If you sweep, you're no doubt hosting. No, I'm not asking for a sweep because I know it's hard. I'm asking to win a series, which is going to be hard in itself. You win 2 of 3, you are 16 and 14 in conference. That, with a couple wins in the tournament, probably gets you a host. You don't win the series, you go 1 and 2, you are now 15 and 15. You're definitely not hosting, and God forbid you get swept again. You're going to be a 2 seed somewhere, and that ain't going to be good. So, it's a big weekend. I love Nashville. I love going to Nashville.
Vandy still do the Whistler.
Oh,
still
yeah.
The
Whistler's still going strong.
I was just telling them before the show, I think the Vandy Boys hashtag is like, it just reminds me of like a white boy, like with the flip hair, with the hair flip, Vandy Boys. Vandy Boys.
The Southern Swoop?
Yeah, the Southern Swoop, Vandy Boys.
The Southern Swoop. I had one back in the day.
Vandy Boys hashtag makes me do this every time.
Hey, that and how ugly are their those pinstripe unis?
You talking about the black pinstripe?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's brutal. Yeah, hats are nice.
So does this all dictate on how well Mik'd throws Friday? Is there an avenue to win the series if he doesn't?
I think it's huge for him.
It's huge for him. I think it's huge for the Saturday. Like whoever's starting Saturday. Is it? They've announced it?
No.
Well, I agree with that. But if Mik'd throws really well, what does it do? Saves the pin.
No doubt.
So it gives you some leeway to work with,
right?
If that Saturday.
But here's the deal: is I'd rather Mik'd throw really well, and you have the pin back in the back end part of the game. Let your big guys throw.
Yep.
Right. Then you have your Saturday guy where you don't have to use your entire bullpen. For on Saturday, because I don't want to use the bullpen for the entire day Saturday and the entire day Sunday.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, for me, the biggest part of it is if you take care of the first game.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
You know what I'm saying? Because if he doesn't go out there and throw well, then it's going to make it really hard.
Now, beginning of the season, we had some bugaboos hitting left-handed pitching. Now we've gotten a little bit better as the season's progressed. They have 2 lefties that are two of their better guys in the rotation. Both freshmen, both lefties. Got to face them this weekend. It's going to be hard. I mean, Vandy's always...
man. Like, if you're going to go, like you said, where you want to go, these are the matchups that you have to win.
Yeah.
It really just comes down to that. You got to go there, beat them 2 out of 3 to get back into the position that you need to be, and then you take care of your business.
Road starts now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the number 3 RPI team in the country. Like, you win 2 out of those 3 games, like, you're not going to drop much if you lose just 1. If you win 2 out of those 3, you're going to – so think about it this way. We were ranked – I think our RPI was like 17 or 18 going into last weekend. Ole Miss comes in. They sweep LSU. Ole Miss was probably a 50 or 60 ranked RPI team going into the series. They are now – LSU is now like 32. Mississippi State's like 35 or 36. So winning those 3 games, they jumped 30 points in the RPI standings. And that's when we were at 18. Now we're at 32. You go out to Vandy, beat them 2 out of 3. You have to think that you're going to make a similar jump. Even if you don't jump 20 spots, let's say you jump 15, you're right back in that regional RPI. Now, RPI is not the end-all, be-all. That they look a lot at it, but they look at your last 15 games. They look at all these different things, and you go and you put yourselves in a striking distance, and you go out and have a good performance in the tournament. You're definitely hosting. But first things first, got to win this weekend.
Like you said, the point of it is, though, is you have to go out and play well this weekend, win the series, to not necessarily win the SEC tournament, but to have a good showing in the tournament.
Yeah,
should put them in right where they need to be.
Our RPI dropped to 37.
37. Are we behind Ole Miss?
I don't know where Ole Miss is. It depends because Ole Miss is going to play A&M.
Ole Miss is. I'm telling you, if they go out and sweep A&M, they're going to host a regional somehow.
That loss doesn't look too bad now.
No, but A&M and Auburn both are very in the top 10, I think, in RPIs. They're doing very well, obviously, but you've got like to be at the top of the mountain in college baseball. You have to go beat these teams, and you just can't. There's no excuses anymore. Like there's no.
And look, we sit here and we say that. Look, I get it. Ole Miss was not playing. Well, they were playing better. Well, not on the season, but playing better recently. But that's why you can't not only drop that series, but get swept at home, because now you put yourself in a position where you got to go on the road and try to do this.
Right.
Tall task, but it's what you got to do. It is what it is.
Dug this hole.
It is, and this is I'm glad they're not fighting for their postseason lives going into last season. They're fighting for their regional host lives now. You're fighting for your seeding of the and being in the postseason right now.
As we know, this is why you take care. This is why you need to take care of home series and home SEC weekends.
And not even
because you got to go on the road and do this.
Think of this.
These are the we would love to win this series. Don't get swept. Now it's we need to win the series.
Think of it this way. You go, let's say you get swept against Arkansas and you get swept against Ole Miss. You find a way, scratch and claw, find a way to win one of those games and not. I mean, that's why you've talked about it a lot. Sweeps and like avoiding sweeps and sweeping are huge in the SEC in order to win the conference, 1, and 2 to like for seeding purposes, right? If you avoid sweeps, that's 2 extra wins. Now instead of being 14-13, you are 16-11. And you're looking at, okay, I just got to go out there and take care of business this weekend. We're in a really good position. Instead, you're trying to fight for a regional host where you go out there and you don't give away those games as a player, and you start sweeping. It makes a big difference at the end of the year, and that's what you have been talking about a lot throughout the course of the year.
Record in SEC on the season is what?
14-13.
Okay, so we're 14-13.
Yeah.
You got. Just think of. I'm gonna just point out 3 series. Ole Miss at home, Arkansas on the road, A&M at home. That's a 1-8 record.
Fuck, even Auburn. Oh, we got swept at Ole Miss. That's 3 sweeps.
No. I wasn't talking about.
We got swept at A&M against A&M.
A&M or was it Auburn that opened up the?
A&M.
A&M.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
Did they sweep us?
No, it was.
No, 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2.
Those 3. Look, A&M has turned into where they've put themselves into us. But let's be honest, going into that series, you expected to win that series,
right?
At least, right? So you just take those 3 series. That's a 1-8 record in 3 series right there. That could be literally the decider on your year. That's tough.
And then you at Auburn, where you had the
2 of those are home series.
You had the opportunity to win against Auburn, like to win the series, to win the series. And instead, you don't. Like you put that in there, and now you're 2-10.
Yeah.
Like it makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. Those.
So if I told you in almost half of your conference record, you're gonna go 2-10, you'd be like, "Woof,
yeah,
this is gonna be tough to do what we need to do."
Right.
Because that means you got to absolutely ball out in some other spots.
No doubt. It's
and
just
that's where they.
It's the big swings that get me. Like,
you
sweep, you get swept. Or you get swept, and you have to sweep.
Seems like they were hot. And
It's just the big ups and downs of the season.
What causes that? Just...
I mean, I don't know, man. It's just lack of focus, execution.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess the way I've seen it is just attention to like little details, man.
They didn't get off to a great start yesterday. They had a couple errors in the first 2 or 3.
I would say, look, the hitting for the most part has been there the whole year. The pitching for the most
That's
part
still
has been there
the hitting's still been a little inconsistent.
No, it has been. I agree, but that's hitting. Right?
Yeah,
like that's really hitting.
Right.
And I'm not trying to like just I guess point at the same thing again, but we go back to it. When I say attention to detail, is just literally making the routine plays on the year. I think has put them in a tougher situation when you look at the year as a whole than where they need to be right now.
And even plays
they should be right now.
Even plays that weren't even errors.
Yeah,
plays
that's what I said. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of just the speed that Vanderbilt
No
possesses,
doubt.
and
That scares me a little
we've
bit.
had catching too.
It scares me a little bit, and it scares me because like they have guy like it's just.
It scares me because literally what I'm just saying, like the ability to make the routine play and keep making that play on defense, they put so much stress on you with so much team speed.
They're just gonna speed us up too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even do the routine.
That's gonna make it tough, man.
Well, and they have 3 starters that are going to go at least 5+ innings in the game. Like they have the ability to extend the game with their starting rotation. We don't have that.
And those guys, they have all the stuff. They just don't get ahead in the count, and that's their problem. They'll strike you out or they'll give up a home run.
Well,
Right.
all
And
three starters have a strikeout inning. All 3. The 2 freshmen have significantly more than a strikeout inning. Yeah, you're right. Like a couple of them have a little bit of control issues.
But I know if I go look at numbers on a pitcher, honestly, it kind of bodes for. It doesn't matter if he's throwing 10 innings on the season or 100. Like if I go look at your numbers on the season and you got more strikeouts than innings thrown, or significantly more, you're like,
okay,
he's got good shit.
He's got something that's good.
He's got good shit, right? Now you go look at walks and you're like. He's walked a lot too, and he's walked something like.
He's got great shit. He's just something he doesn't have a feel for.
The controls are not little there, so I really need to do this. But that also means if he's on, it's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, and it's hard to. You can't just say, "Oh, this guy walks guys. He's gonna walk us." You can't just automatically assume that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a fun series. Thursday, Friday. I love it. I mean the last weekend of the season is my favorite because you do have now they've played more Thursday, Friday, Saturday series now than when we were there, but I enjoyed it because. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You come home Saturday night after the game. You have Sunday off. Monday is the selection show, and then you go to get ready for the tournament, and you go to Hoover, which to me, Hoover is the most fun tournament at anything you go to because Hoover's a great spot. You're all in that big hotel. It's connected to a mall. You're seeing teams everywhere, and
you draw good crowds.
You draw great crowds, and the competition is as good as it's going to get.
It's actually kind of cool. It's almost like kind of like a mini College World Series.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're going to draw really good crowds. It's a big stadium. There's going to be 50 scouts literally watching it pretty much there all day. Like it's a good setup.
Yeah, but it's a good. They're going to Nashville, and then they finish.
Hoover.
They come home. And they get to enjoy a couple days, and they're not in school, and they go back to Hoover. Like it's a fun couple weeks.
Yeah.
Going to be hard baseball, but that's what they want. This is a big test going into the postseason. That's kind of what you need, And so we'll see.
Who would your call be on Saturday?
What's that?
Who do you want to get the ball Saturday?
I mean, I think that.
Money?
I think Blake Money is the leader in the clubhouse. I really do. If you're not going to give it to him, he's going to have to throw. I mean, you would think that he throws on Sunday, right? Or it's Saturday, the last game of the series. If they don't throw, I would like to see Ty Floyd get a start. I really would. I don't know. I have to look at the lineup. I don't know the lineups, whether it's lefty heavy, righty heavy for the Vanderbilt team. But if it's lefty heavy, maybe you throw Hasty in there and give him a start. But both those guys, I think, have earned the right to have more innings and meaningful innings on the weekend.
I just think when it comes to Saturday, you got to give them the ball and be like, you can't let us down. Like, we need you.
Yeah, like.
It's back against the wall.
Yeah.
You want to be the guy that we think that you can be, that you think you can be, show me. Prove it to me. Because if not, we are in a bad spot. We're in a pickle. Like, hey, this is show me what you got. Be the guy that we think you are. and go out there and shut up their ass and give us a W, and then do it again in the SEC tournament and get hot before the postseason, and anything can happen.
When you
need
get
to see
two
that.
arms,
You have
anything
got
can
to
happen.
find the second arm. Got to find the second starter. You have to. If not, you have no chance. No chance.
I mean, we talk about the errors with LSU baseball, but we don't really talk. Well, we talk about like the bullpen. Do you think that's like something that's going to be the Achilles heel going into the postseason?
What?
Like the bullpen not being. Well, the pitching staff not being set. Like we only have a Friday.
So yeah, I mean
Saturday.
that's so the
It's funny. Is Money a sophomore or a junior?
sophomore.
It's really weird too, and it's obviously it's not as this last year here, but I've literally seen guys go their last one or two starts of the season into the SEC tournament and show well there, and literally make a large amount of money in the draft. And obviously this isn't that year, but if he can struggle and show up this week, and then show up next week, and take the ball those 2 times in a row, it'll bode something huge for
Yeah,
him.
puts them in
and
a
for
good
the team,
spot,
obviously.
and that gives it's the only way that we're going to be able to make a run in the tournament is if you have a number 2, because if not, you're no way your bullpen is going to be able to get.
No.
You're not going to be able to sustain that level of production from your bullpen through the SC tournament, through the regional. Like, there's no way. It's just you're playing too good of teams to be able to do that and rely on that. Your bullpen is your strength on the as far as the pitching staff goes, but you have to have somebody to bridge the gap. You cannot have bullpen throwing 6 innings every game. That just doesn't work. Won't work. Vanderbilt's the 4th-rated team in the SC as far as average goes. They don't really pop a ton of homers. They're kind of middle of the road in slugging percentage. Like I said, their top 3 are as good as it gets, probably, and offensively. They're the number 4 hitter or the number 4 most productive hitter in their lineup, has 8 homers. And so they have a few guys that can hit the ball out the ballpark, but top to bottom, they're probably middle of the road as far as like power production goes. They're top 3, 4 in rotation. That is what separates Vanderbilt from most teams is their pitching and their pitching depth. We'll see. I'm excited that Jacob Berry's back. I think that's a big addition. He's not going to be the savior by any means. Like, everybody's like, well, wait till we get Jacob. Like, wait till Berry's back. Like, we need Berry back. Yeah, we do. We need him in the middle of the lineup. But he's not going to be able to pitch. He doesn't go and play every position. He's in the lineup, and he's gonna help. He's gonna give you a boost. But there's other issues that are going on with the team than just Jacob Berry being out.